All right, Counterpunch Boxing. What's going on, YouTube? I'm either the most loved guy on YouTube or the most hated. I can't tell by the comment section. It's kind of 50-50. But anyway, all right, check it out. Miguel Cotto. I actually last night I was working on a Cotto video, and that led me to make the Margarito video, about the illegal hand wraps. They had the original fight in 2008 and then the rematch in 2011. But, check that out if you guys haven't watched it. But anyway, Miguel Cotto putting out a tweet. Okay, I want to thank Roc Nation family for their support. I've decided to take a new step in my career. We'll be back really soon. Hashtag War Cotto. Now look, Miguel Cotto, he really is probably, I would say, my favorite Puerto Rican fighter. I mean, he truly is. So, and one of my favorite all times at welterweight. I'd say at welterweight, he's at least in my top, my top 10. Like, he's exciting. He's got balls. I mean, he lets his hands go. He's always like busted up and bloodied up. He gets hit and keeps coming forward. And he's my style of boxer. So I've always liked that type of boxer over like an Erislandy Lara or a Mayweather or like a Lamont Peterson, the stick and move, or the Cuban style of boxing, whatever. But okay, now look, there's just a lot of lazy journalism going on out there. I mean, people are putting together videos, but their information is just so wrong. Okay, Miguel Cotto. All right, let me just touch on two or three quick points, and then I'll leave you with that. Okay, he was with Roc Nation. He had a 3-fight deal. Okay, now out of the 3-fight deal, he only had 2 fights, or he only made good on 2 fights, should I say? Now, Freddie Roach, he said that he'd like Cotto to at least have 2 more fights in 2017 and then retire on a high note. Wanted him to have like 2 big fights and then retire just on a high note. Like a great boxer should. But they had a lot of problems. Okay, James Kirkland. I don't know if you guys know, but originally he was going to fight James Kirkland, and a lot of people said it was at Dallas Cowboys Stadium. It was at their training facility in Frisco, Texas. So it was where the Cowboys train, and it holds like 10,000 people. I mean, their fucking training facility is as big as a lot of arenas. But so they were going to have it there at the training facility. But then Kirkland broke his nose in sparring. The fight was off. Okay, now he was in training camp, or most recently, he was in training camp for Kamagai. Now, Kamagai, you remember Kamagai back in 2014, Robert Guerrero, just come off a win in the rematch in the Soto Karass fight, which I love that fight. The original fight with Karass and Kamagai in 2016, it was a draw. Okay, then they had a rematch, and then of course, Kamagai won that fight. So, lost to Alfonso Gomez, Guerrero. I think he has like 3 or 4 losses. I don't know. I don't have his record in front of me. But anyway, Cotto was in a training camp to get in the ring with Kamagai, and that didn't happen. Apparently, they couldn't get the money right. It just politics didn't happen. Now, what I heard was what basically Cotto is wanting too much money. Okay, he's trying to get a guy like a Kirkland or a Kamagai, things like that. In Roc Nation, they're not willing to put out the money, and even like HBO, they're saying, no, we don't want to put that fight on unless he has a big fight, after that. He's like, we'll do it if it's like a 2-fight deal. We'll take a Kamagai or we'll take a James Kirkland, but after that, we need a guarantee of like a big fight with Miguel Cotto. Like maybe a Canelo rematch or a Manny Pacquiao rematch. And then there was a lot of talks out there about and I reported on this. If you guys go down in my channel, I reported on this, possibly a Miguel Cotto and Juan Manuel Marquez, but Marquez, they couldn't agree on the weight. And I understand. Marquez said I wanted it welterweight or nothing, right? So, I mean, it just didn't get done because Cotto didn't want to go down to welterweight. He wanted some kind of crazy catch weight at like 150 or something like that. And, look, Marquez is too small to get up there towards, like a light middleweight catch weight. He's just too small. So that got scrapped. Okay, so now basically, I mean, they're just looking for a good fight, and he's not retiring. So I want to set the record straight. He's not retiring At least not as of now. He hasn't announced it, but he did part ways with Roc Nation. He'll probably become an independent, kind of like Mikey Garcia, and maybe do one or two more fights. According to Freddie Roach, they want one or two, but they wanted it by the end of 2017. Cotto wants to spend time with his family. He's been, giving us a lot of great fights. Like I said, he's one of my favorite. 2008 Margarito, Joshua Clottey, which, by the way, Joshua Clottey fought on the Kirkland Canelo undercard. I did a quick interview with Clottey on that undercard and that was 2009. Let's see, power, or was that 2009? Yeah, 2009. Manny Pacquiao, 2009, another great fight. He lost, but it's that classic Cotto, man. He went out on his shield. Ricardo Mayorga, another great fight, 2011, then the rematch in 2011 with Antonio Margarito, and then, of course, 2012, Mayweather gave Mayweather a run for his money, lost to Austin Trout. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Delvin Rodriguez, Sergio Martinez, Daniel Gill, and then, of course, losing to Canelo Alvarez in 2015. Now, he's been inactive since 2015, so if you look at that, that's like 16, 17 months of inactivity, So by the time he has a good training camp and gets back in the ring, like if he gets an opponent like in the next 30 days, I mean, you're looking at nearly a 2-year ring absence. I mean, that's a long ass time. But I get it. He's an all-time great, and he wants to. I think he wants to cash out. And there's probably nothing wrong with that because I mean, I think he's given enough to boxing where it's okay. I believe it's as long as it's not a pay-per-view. Pay-per-view bullshit. But hey, he wants to get a couple of paydays and have a farewell fight, cash out. Ride off into the sunset, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we'll see. But right now, I have no idea who his opponent's going to be. But whoever it is, I mean, it needs to be someone, a decent name. I mean, James Kirkland, I mean, honestly, I'd rather see Kamagai over Kirkland. I mean, they even brought up Lamont Peterson. So, I don't know. I mean, look, I think, kind of like Pacquiao, when they reach a point in their career where they're fighting a Jeff Horn or a Lamont Peterson or a Kirkland, maybe it's time to hang it up. But if you're doing it as a farewell fight, then I'm okay with it. But you can't just continue to fight, these C and D level fighters and collect a paycheck at the expense of the boxing fans, okay? Because at the end of the day, the boxing fans, we the people, we pay for this shit. So, they can't just, put together a bunch of garbage fights and expect us to shell out a bunch of money so they can fatten their bank accounts are already fat as hell. But I mean, you get where I'm coming from. So like ton of respect to Cotto. Hopefully he'll put together at least one or two good fights. I mean, who knows? I think we're going to get at least one more before he retires, and I think he'll probably, like I said, I think he'll be just be an independent like Mikey Garcia and promote the fight himself possibly. Who knows? Maybe he'll do like a one fight deal with Top Rank or Golden Boy. I mean, who knows, right? But I don't think we've seen the last of Miguel Cotto. But once again, he says, I want to thank Roc Nation family for their support. I've decided to take a new step in my career. We'll be back really soon. #WarCotto.